I always watch the Olympic Games, and I was always impressed on how Otto was able to medal in not just one event, but the 100, the 200. And he was one of our most consistent athletes ever. So definitely look up to Otto a lot. As I got older and I was transitioning from being a high school athlete, going into college, Deon Lendore definitely had Trinidad and Tobago in the palm of his hands. He did well. He won the Bowman. He did well in college. And he set like the blueprint for us in terms of, okay, you do Carifta games, you do well in high school, you go to a Division One, you run fast there. Yeah, and he showed us what to do, how to do it. And rest in peace, Deon. Deon really wanted, at that point, everyone in Trinidad and Tobago wanted to go to Texas A&M because of Deon. He helped out a lot of athletes locally. He was like definitely that man on the ground, even though he was in the US at the point in time. You could have called him for anything. He would play video games with us. He was like really that down-to-earth person. So Deon Lendore for sure is someone also I look up to in Trinidad and Tobago track and field history. He, outside of track and field, was just like a brother. You know,
you and him are really, really, really close.
Yeah,
that I've heard everybody who I talked to, they was like, man, if you say Deon, you have to say, they say Remy.
Yeah.
They call your name. They when he passed, how did that affect you? Like,
it was a hard thing to deal with. I remember I got a call maybe at around 6:00, 6:30, and it was a mutual friend, Daniel from Canada, and he called me and he was like, Deon just passed away. I was like, what? Because I know I probably played video games with him maybe a month ago. We don't communicate that often, but when we do, it's either any game or you ask me when I run in or something. And I was like, I just couldn't believe it because he was the type of person that he was so nice and friendly. You wouldn't believe that he would die. You wouldn't believe that he would pass away. He was that impactful on so many people's lives.
You think he would grow to be an old man, old wise man?
Yes. He was good with kids. He was good with everyone. He had friends from all different countries. While talking to Daniel, our coach from Trinidad and Tobago called me immediately. So I'm a fast thinker. As soon as I saw the phone ringing again, I know it's bad news. So I was like, hold on, Daniel, let me call you back. Coach called him. Answer the phone. I was like, that's true? He said, yeah. And I just started to cry because it was hard to believe that actually happened to someone I'm so close to. And you never know how it feels to lose someone until you in it. Like you actually know the person that deep. And it was just a hard moment to deal with. It was something hard to accept to this day. It's still hard for me to realize that he's not there. I went home for his funeral. I saw him. I saw the casket go down and I went back up to the US and I still didn't believe it. I still don't believe it because he's had such an impact on so much lives and he's had an impact on so much people. It just doesn't make sense to me. I thought that going back home and going to the funeral would have given me that closure that, okay, accept it for what it is. But in a sense, I think it's a good thing that he has that effect on us, that it doesn't feel like he's gone because it goes to show that he lived a good life, that he had such a good impact on so many people that you feel that he's still alive here with us. So, yeah, it was hard to deal with, still hard to deal with, but all in all, I think it pushes me to continue reminding people of the type of person he was and fulfilling the stuff that he used to do. So he would always communicate with the youth. He would always try to help out people if they have questions, because everybody would reach out to him, Deon, how to do this, how to do that. I have a race coming up. What I should do, how I should run this race. And these are things that you have been able to reach out to him and talk to him about. So I try my best now to fill in that gap for what he would have done for the younger generation. But yeah.
You had an opportunity to compete with him at a high level, right?
Yeah.
2017?
He didn't make the team in 17, but we won World Relays in 2019 in the 4x4. Deon was part of that team. We ran together in the Olympic Games. We ran together in 2018. So we had a good run, even as juniors. I could go way back to Carifta Games. My first Carifta Games, first Carifta medal, Deon was on a 4x4. under 20 in Jamaica in 2011. So he's always been around. I've always been a part of some teams with him, and had some good times with him also on some 4x4 relays.
So I imagine him being the kind of person he is and having that good heart. Was he one of the first people he congratulated you in 2017 after getting your bronze, but also in your gold medal
for sure. Deon wasn't even on the 2017 team, and Deon had a whole live watch party, singing music, making people laugh. I think he was doing freestyles, even rapping. If you know Deon was a clown. He would make anybody laugh. He would make anybody feel comfortable and warm. And I think, as I say, that's the type of things that we would miss, and what also makes him live on, because someone like that in your mind lives forever. You can't not forget someone like that.
Yeah.
Man, you said that you tried to make his presence feel known, but I could say the year after Deon passed, you didn't try. People found out who you really were because you went on a tear. Medal after medal after medal. I think the only person that stood in your way possibly was, but Noah in the 200 and such, but you racked out, I think, most of your accolades the year after, the year that you dedicated that year to him.
Yeah.
Talk about how you strategized and went through that year saying, we will not let Deon be forgotten, and I'm going to make his presence feel felt through me.
I remember after hearing the news, going to practice, everyone that I saw in practice that day was like, my condolences. And I cry every time I see somebody, because I'm an emotional person. And I feel like when someone now expresses their sympathy for you, it brings out my emotion even more.
Right.
And it took me about a week to be able to practice without thinking of crying. And, I prayed about it. I spoke to my mom about it, and she was like, you know what, you have to try to be okay with it. This is life. Sometimes things like this happen, and you have to know how to deal with it. And I talked to my sports psychologist a lot. Every Wednesday, I talk with my sports psychologist, and we talk about using situations in life to change it to something positive. And my way of using that situation and making it into something positive was dedicating that year to Deon, working hard and trying to be successful. So now we could put him in the limelight and let people actually understand the type of person and the great athlete that he was. Because in this life, a lot of people only appreciate you when you're not there anymore. They only realize, wow, this was a good person, but after the fact.